Hi, and welcome to episode 56 of the Stouting Off podcast. Before we get started, and you've heard me ask you this before, but would you like and subscribe? It's serious. Before you even proceed with this podcast, pause it and like and subscribe to this show on Apple and on Spotify, anywhere else where you consume podcasts, YouTube as well, and then share it with friends. That's the third step in this whole thing. So without much further ado, here's episode 56 of the Stouting Off podcast. Okay. You know that? Okay. Episode 56 is off and running. We're off to the races. A couple weeks after the Kentucky Derby. Have never watched it because who actually cares about horse racing? Except there's an equestrian, there's a horse racing team that always names their athletes, their horses after Red Wings, which is cool. A horse named Nyquist won a few years ago. A guy named Nyquist was running the Kentucky Derby and he won. A Swedish guy by the name of
running
Gustav
along
Nyquist.
the horses on the track.
Yes. Well, I want to welcome Will and I want to welcome Jordan to the podcast. As always, my co-chairs, my co-anchors, my colleagues and cohorts. And what I just did there is called alliteration. And that's where a lot of words have the same beginning letter. $1 million word for the day. What do you think about that?
I thought it meant you were illiterate.
What I just did was demonstrate how illiterate I am. And that's called alliteration. Dickel Bourbon, 8-year, best value in terms of the bourbon world, in my opinion. One of them, if not the.
I'll print you on that.
You say what?
I'll print you on that.
Quote me. I want that on my gravestone someday. That's how strong my conviction is for that. Jordan, I got to tell you something. Will and I were on the phone last week. Will, I don't know if you already know where I'm going with this, but I have been thinking about this conversation and laughing about it for like several times a day for the past week. So Will and I were talking over the phone, and I forgot what I asked him, but he was explaining, and he was like, he was giving me what the response that I was looking for. But you know, sometimes when someone is talking and you kind of zone out for a second, but you're still going like, yeah, totally. Yeah. Of course. I know what you're saying. Yeah. You're given those positive kind of like feedback things to let them know that you're still engaged in the conversation.
Yeah.
Either I've zoned out for a second and or the phone cut out for a second, but when I regained kind of consciousness in the discussion, I was like, yeah, totally. Hold on, wait a second. What'd you say? And then, but Will goes into this whole bit impersonating me and being like, yeah, totally. Oh, that's a great point, man. I've been meaning to, ask you about that as well. So that's great. Wait, what'd you say? He just was rubbing my nose.
Everybody I've been talking to for years has been telling me the same thing. I just haven't been, listening. And it's good because you're a primary source of this information, man. And I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down, kind of really break it apart for me. You make the medicine go down easily. And I just appreciate that, man. What'd you say?
That is so stupid. You read my mind, man. I tell you what, I was going to actually bring that up to you as well. I just, what'd you say?
Man, I know we've been playing phone tag for a while on this, and I'm really sorry it's taken this long to connect. And, man, it's just no, it's great to finally just connect with you on this. And again, I appreciate all your insight, dude. So, what did you mean?
And that brought up a similar situation. Remember, we were at
you're habitual for doing this. Habitual.
I've done this before.
This is a multiple offense because
I've done this before. I get caught up because I want to give. I want to just.
You want to be engaged, but also in the twilight zone at the same time, and it just doesn't always pan out.
So we were at our friend Mark's house one time, and Mark's wife JP was showing us this gadget that she uses for either wine or coffee or something. And I was like, "Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. What's that do?" and like I was like, "Oh," and Will of course takes it into, "Oh, I've been meaning to get one of those, man. Oh, I've been looking. That's on my Amazon wish list and everything. Wow." What's that do?
I think the worst is when someone asks a question at the end of it. Like
Yeah,
if you
sure.
zone out.
Yeah, I'm in trouble at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what would you say in that situation? You're like,
yeah.
I think the phone cut out or something. I didn't
Right.
hear you.
Right. That's funny. Which actually, that reminds me of something that I saw. I think it was on I don't know if it was on TikTok or something, but someone is brilliant and said that
Of course.
if you have to get off the phone, instead of ending the call to where it says call ended, you just flip your phone onto airplane mode and the call fails.
Wow.
Oh.
If you've got to get off in a quick rip, okay, I'm
That-
done talking to this guy,
Yeah.
airplane mode. Call failed on both ends. No one,
That's
no one's
sharp.
to blame.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. That's a very savvy move.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're ever in that situation,
Where Will's like, "So what would you do in that situation?" And I just panic, just quick drop down to airplane mode, call him back. You got to explain. I lost you for the last 2 minutes there. Can you explain again?
wait, what'd you beep?
You accidentally turn on your flashlight instead of turning airplane mode on, and then continue to just, oh, thank God, I'm off the phone. Oh, I
Saying
was
that to
almost
myself too.
incriminating yourself after.
That's funny.
Guys, actually, a bit of housekeeping before we get too far into things. We should call attention to our new garments. So this was a popular segment. If you're watching the podcast, you can see that we're wearing shirts that say Pit Boss National Draft Boneyard Barbecue, and it's got a little graphic in the middle, Stouting Off merch from a couple episodes ago when we talked about, and this was also a reel on our Instagram as well, where the joke was we all have that one person who you only talk about one thing with. And for me, it was this guy that I met at church. And in the first conversation I ever had with him, he mentioned that he liked barbecue. And so that was the only thing that we ever talked about. But it was to the point where he started expecting a very high level of knowledge from me about the barbecue industry. So I was like, "What do you think? I know pit bosses in the whatever." Anyway, that's the whole gist of it. But you have to go back and watch it because actually I just told you the whole thing except for the punchline. So you just have to find that out yourself. But we have several shirts here, guys. And we're selling these things. So first piece of Stouting Off merch, if you'd like one, they're 15 bananas. 15 USD, I should say, US dollars. Not actually bananas because that's not a currency. But this is the shirt. And from now until, what did I say, guys? June 6th. From now until June 6th, we'll take orders for this. And we'll begin shipping out right after that. But get your Stouting Off merch while it's hot.
They're great.
Pit Boss National Draft. Nice cotton too, isn't it?
Oh,
They're,
yeah,
they're
it's
sharp.
comfy.
Gildan can never go wrong.
Can't go wrong with Gildan. I mean, the Gildan heavy cotton blend. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, just go to YouTube at some point and check this out. Or maybe I'll throw it on our Instagram story as well. Stouting Off Podcast. One word without any dots or underscores or anything. Stouting Off Podcast. Just DM us. It's $15. DM us your size and your address. And then I'll set up a Venmo thing because we don't have a web store quite yet. But we did want to get these in the hands of people that like what we're doing here. I love these, though. It's my daily driver. Taking work calls on these new clients. They're like, what's with the skull on your shirt? Oh, it's from the best podcast in America. It's from the number one podcast. You don't listen to it. But that's great. So anyway, that was a great segment that we did, and I'll just be the first to toot our own horns. I loved the Pit Boss segment. That was funny.
That was funny.
It's great.
Hey,
That
Will,
was funny.
Yeah.
what is this?
It is Traverse City Whiskey Company bourbon that's aged in Michigan. Wait, I'm saying this wrong.
You know what that reminded me of was,
What?
oh, I've been meaning to get this bourbon. I really like this stuff. Oh, I've always really liked this. Will, what is this? What's in the glass?
What's that bourbon do?
The only reason I ask is because I just tasted it. I
Yeah.
know it's low proof,
Yeah.
but Is it like lemony or honey or
Peach.
something? Peach.
Yeah, it's
Infused
infused
with
with
peach.
Michigan peaches.
This would be a really good starter for somebody.
Yeah, it's a great summer drink too.
Hold up the if you could, Will, hold up that bottle to the whichever camera you're running up. Yeah.
Which camera
So-
am I on again?
Which I always get lost in this. So that's cool. Yeah,
hard to
maybe
We need to have a tally system in this house, even though the tally would literally be just on that one camera.
what's a tally?
A tally is like when you're in a
Dressing?
broadcast situation, the tally is the red light that says that the camera's on.
Oh, cool. Right.
Yeah.
So you only have one camera, but that has a red light on, so you know which one
Right.
to look at.
Yeah. I think we need that.
I think so too.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Sounds cheap. In episode 55, you talked about voice to text. This time it was your dad
Yeah.
using it.
So again, my aunt's a more habitual offender of this. My dad typically doesn't. I'll text him. I'll ask him 3 questions in a text. All I get is a thumbs up response. He doesn't address a single thing about it. Just a
Hey, what
thumbs
time
up.
do you want me? Hey, real quick, Dad. Just what time do you want me over there, and what do you want me to bring? And
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
Is it a thumbs up emoji or a tap?
Well,
back?
now he found a GIF, and that's his only way of communicating at this point.
it's a guy going like this.
It just says thanks with a heart. That's it. Nothing else. It's just thanks with a heart.
Dude, that's
what time
kinda
do you want
nice,
me there?
actually.
Thanks.
No other
That's sweet.
context. Yeah. I asked him like 3 questions. It was just thanks with a heart. But
What if you
Wait,
asked
what'd
somebody
you
to
say?
marry you, and that's what you got back? Thanks.
Dad, I got this amazing opportunity. Or man, I popped the question finally. Thanks.
Or you just get down on one knee, babe. You're everything I could have ever wanted and more. Will you spend the rest of your life with me? Thanks. She says this like she's like all caught up in it. She's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
Thanks.
thanks.
Or she just, instead of
means
saying
yes.
yes or no, she just pulls out her phone and just says thanks.
She texts you.
She texts Woody to text you the gift. That's what it
Right.
is. She texts your dad.
And then
to
Woody
text-
says thanks. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Full circle.
So yeah, he doesn't really do voice to text a bunch. I think I just showed him the feature on his phone like 3 months ago, because I'm like, hey, typing for him is not great. So I'm like, just do voice to text. Here's how you do it, whatever. But I think he just generally avoids it. Anyway, today I get a text at 6:37 p.m. And when it came through, I was doing something. So I saw it come through. I saw like the first sentence, and I'm like, I don't have time or energy to dive into what this says at this moment, but I am very curious how the rest of this sentence is going to carry out. And it said, it is the chicken you play, my flat dog numbers, when you find kind of colors in one word. And I'm like, what? Is that a riddle?
It sounds like a riddle.
Is that a riddle?
It sounds like a
Solve
riddle
the-
from a sci-fi movie or
Now,
a
try
fantasy
to-
Tolkien movie.
Try to solve this next one, if you can. It is a chicken you play, my flat dog numbers, when you find kind of colors in one word. It's a Jeopardy question, man.
Dude, it's something that was translated from another language that has
And
no
now,
semblance whatsoever
for
to
the
English.
Daily Double, it is the chicken you play, my flat dog numbers, when you find kind of colors in one word. Your
What is
answer.
Thanks, heart.
What is voice to Yes, what is thanks with a heart? What is the thanks heart gift?
I'll take
That's
thanks.
correct.
I'll take thanks with the heart for 500. That's the question.
That's the clue. It is the chicken you play.
My flat dog.
Oh wait, you've got to say what it said, or did you? already?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Who are you?
Minor detail.
So I look at this and I'm like,
It is the chicken
I
you play.
truly I don't know what to say. I mean, this is one of the worst jumbled text messages I've ever received from anyone. And then he texts me again, and I think he typed it out this time, and he said, "This is what happens when you talk to the phone. Can you play my lotto numbers, please? Thanks."
With a heart.
It is the chicken you play, my flat dog numbers, when you find kind of colors in one word, means this is what means. Can you play my lotto numbers?
That is on par with the message, what time would you like me over, being equivalent to the Declaration of Independence,
Yes,
dude.
100%. 100%.
Oh, that's good.
And the thing is, too, man, Your phone
the
lets you review the text before you hit send.
Right. That's
You
true.
have the option to opt out of sending it to me.
That's true.
You know,
100%.
but he just nope, too quick on the draw, man. Had to send that one. Had me scratching my head.
If you think about it, though, like for real, it really is the chicken you play.
Honestly,
You know?
yeah. I mean, and it's a good piece of advice. And
flat dog.
he's said it to me throughout my whole life. You know, he's also said, you know, things like when you find kind of colors in one word. I mean, truly, one word. When you find kind of colors in one word, that is, if you can do that, you can do anything. And he's right. It is at the end of the day, it is the chicken you play. It's nothing else. It's the chicken you play, man. Those are the cards you're dealt.
I was just about to say that. At the end of the day, these are the cards you were dealt. I mean, this is the chicken you play.
This is the chicken you chose to play.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
All you can do is make the best of it and find, you know, kind of colors in one word. You know?
success means different things to different people. I mean, this is the chicken you play.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know
it.
what you want me to tell you, man. I mean, I feel sorry. I feel bad for you, but it's a chicken you played.
Oh, my eyeballs are gonna bulge out of my forehead, my orbital bone. Oh, and my forehead too, though. Third eye.
Yeah, that was a one for the books.
That really is. Now that's another thing I mentioned earlier in the episode about my gravestone. That is actually what I want on my gravestone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the chicken you play, my flat dog numbers.
I can't believe all of that meant, can you play my lotto numbers? All of that complex poem that he wrote.
Dude. Oh, that's special. That's
great.
terrific.
Yeah.
I just got my body temperature just went up about 10 degrees laughing about that. I'm sweaty now. I got tickled by something recently, and it's always tickled me, but I only thought now to ask if you guys enjoy this little simple pleasure in life. When you are out, say late at night, past 11 p.m. or so, and you see an open sign lit up on a store or a business that it should not be lit, like it's not open, but they left it on at night. Mm-hmm. I drive by H&R Block and I see open at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
As though they're on call for emergency, like
Right.
tax service.
Yeah,
you know?
Just downstairs on standby. The whole lights are off.
There's a jeweler place in downtown Plymouth, always leaves its open sign on. I mean, 24/7.
Well, you
And
never
I
know.
imagine one singular jeweler in there just waiting for someone to walk in at like 1:30 in the morning.
On call.
I need this watch repaired right now.
He
That
sleeps
is
with
funny.
a pager like a doctor, a heart surgeon, on call or something. 2 a.m. in the morning, he rolls over. Well, honey, I don't know, called in again.
Honey, go back to bed. No, I got this now. It's important.
Somebody needs their wedding band resized.
Somebody's clasp on their necklace broke. Sorry.
Have you ever seen That Thing You Do?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't actually.
Wow, that's a mess.
I know that.
Remember, he gets
Many people-
criticized for leaving the open sign on.
Oh, yeah.
You left the open sign on again?
Yeah, it's actually a thing in that movie.
Is that right? Many people in my life who I love really love that movie.
It's fantastic. It's one of the
really
best.
love that movie.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it because you want to say that you haven't seen it?
No, I don't think there's nothing to that. I don't get any satisfaction from being like, I've never seen that, or Titanic, or pretty much any classic movie. I don't. There are other things in life I take pride in. That's not a thing to take pride in. I would like to see it, but just movies are so long,
Yeah.
Put it on the
Movies are just so long.
You got to
I do have a list of movies. I do have a list of movies. I intentionally watch about 5 to 13 movies a year. That's where I'll sit down and I'll actually just sit and watch it in one sitting.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, movies are too long.
I think you would
Movies are
like this
too
one though. It kind of
long.
vibes with the things that you like.
I know, and the things I
music,
do.
Love story.
I think it was produced by Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks
is in it.
I know. I'll watch it within the next 6 weeks. You have my word.
And
Stout's
it's like
honor.
a 90s movie too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not long. It's probably, under 2 hours?
Hour
Probably 90
45,
minutes
probably.
if it's 90s.
Yeah, something like that.
That's the length of the Lion King. We were on our way back from a show in St. Louis last week, and I was like, how long till we're there? The guy driving was like, about an hour and 33 minutes, I think is what the number was. But Corey, my buddy, was like, well, that's the exact length of The Lion King, so let's get that going. And we pulled it up on my phone and just watched it for the whole way back.
That's great.
3 of us gathered around a little phone on the back of like a headrest, just watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the open sign being on for like a brake shop or jeweler or like insurance or taxes, that's just great. So
that is funny.
The craziest thing happened. The craziest thing happened in light of what you said a couple weeks ago, Jordan, where you said you are in a Facebook thread or something with a bunch of guys with your same name.
Yeah.
I got a string of emails this past week, like 3 or 4 days ago, actually. And it was these different guys replying all to an email chain. And it was this guy's bachelor party. And he was like, okay, boys, the bachelor party is going to be, in Flagstaff, Arizona. We're golfing. Here's the whole schedule. Can't wait to have you guys there with me the week before I get married. And I've never seen this name in my life. And for a second, I thought there's a chance that I know this guy, but there wasn't. Like I looked him up, and I looked him up on Instagram. I searched his name, and then I was like, I wonder if he is followed by another Andrew Stoutenberg. And sure enough, a guy that he follows and mutually follows is Andrew Stoutenberg. So I was included in on an email chain where he was trying to contact a different guy with my same name. Isn't that wild?
I love that.
That's so timely, dude.
But somehow got like an email, like got your Freudenberg email or like an old like.
Yeah, it doesn't have my name in it. It's like AJS like 0032.
It's like Crazy Racer 0889
Crazy Racer.
Wrong Andrew Stoutenberg, buddy.
at msn.org.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he said. So I replied back and I said, Hey, Brian, firstly, congrats on getting married. Secondly, and more importantly, I'm not the Andrew Stoutenberg you're trying to email. I'm Drew, and I live in Nashville. LOL. Congrats again. Best wishes. And he said, hey, Drew, wow. You'd think I'd have the correct email addresses of everyone I was inviting to my bachelor party. Thank you for the well wishes and for letting me know without replying all. Because if I would have replied all, his boys would have dragged
He's roasted.
him.
Yeah.
And he goes, P.S. If we change the venue from Scottsdale, I was wrong, not Flagstaff, Scottsdale to Nashville, drinks on me, smiley face. Seems like a nice guy. We'd probably be friends in another life, you know?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
I'm
I
not
just
the
thought
Andrew
that
Stoutenberg you think I am.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. I almost feel like I should look my doppelganger up and like follow him and say what up, you know?
Yeah.
Could pretend like you're that guy and just start saying a bunch of outlandish stuff to make this guy think that his Andrew Stoutenberg is.
Dude, say, are you
gone
going
off
to
the
the
I thought
rails.
about it,
party?
dude. I thought about toying with him on the chain, like the replying all like, I thought you said the bachelor party was going to be in Macon, Georgia.
And my prison sentence should be up in a couple weeks. I should be able to make it.
Yeah. Or I just got both my legs amputated. I don't know if I'll be in for the golf round, but or I could have just gotten dark and been like, dude, I'm not in support of this wedding anymore. So good luck for my spouse. I could have gone there.
Yeah.
But I
That's
wouldn't.
funny. There's this one bit that I've seen, like a comedy bit, where this guy gets like a random phone call and he's like, hey, Bruce, or something like that. And they're like, I want to talk to you about the budget. And his name's not Bruce. And he's like, yeah, what about the budget? And he like goes along with this whole thing, gets out of the call, gets other calls, like gets involved in emails, like all of these things. And he's not a part of it whatsoever. I think they end up like finding it out, but yeah,
Talking about
it's a funny
budgets.
bit.
He ends up solving a budget problem, and then they hire him. Eventually
They were
comes
like,
clean.
We've
I'm
got
not
big
Bruce.
problems. They said our budget was 12,000 and now it's 8,000. He's like, well, who's making that decision? Like they're like, Miranda is. Like, I don't know. I'm making it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
What
man,
is that
that's
from?
funny.
Is that from a movie?
No,
I'd love to
just
see it.
like saw it on the internet. Like I'll find it and send it.
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Please.
So I rolled into Tim Hortons the other morning for a coffee.
Prime Minister of Canada.
That's exactly why I went there, because Prime Minister of Canada. And so I went there, and it's like the Burger King thing, like we were talking about, not as consistently bad as Burger King is, but
Yeah.
Tim Hortons, I can either get the most delightful person who's happy to be working in there every day, or someone that they found off the street and their life is threatened, and the only way to rectify the situation is they have to work at Tim Hortons. Otherwise, bad things happen.
I've got a critical condition where if I don't start working at Tim Hortons, my blood is going to dry up.
I'm in deep trouble if I don't. So I got to bite the bullet here.
That's great.
So that's who I usually get. And anyway, like roll up. They're like, like what they say is nonsensical. It's not even words. It's just verbal agreement. The tone in their voice, I can tell that we're on the same page, but they're not saying any real words to me. It's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, can I just get a large coffee? All right. And like, that's it.
Was it pull around or was it all
pull
right?
around?
Or is that all?
That's
Polaroid.
it. That's all I get. I get, meh, and I get, Polaroid. That's it.
Polaroid.
Polaroid.
They take a picture of you and think.
So I drive up to the window and I'm paying, and they give me my card back, and then they give me my coffee before the thing shuts. The guy who's like on the speaker, I don't think I highly doubt that he said this to a customer, but I envisioned in my mind he did. Before the window shuts, he goes, "Welcome to hell." I just drove away.
He said it though? Did he say
Yeah,
it?
he said, "Welcome to hell," like he was greeting someone.
Welcome to hell.
Welcome
What can I
to
get
hell.
for you? What can I get
Take
started
your
for you?
order?
How many donuts? Welcome to hell. Dude,
Could it be that bad to work at Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons, man.
I know.
You know what I've noticed?
Oh, I'm tickled by that.
I feel like everybody who works at a fast food place is just generally pissed off
Yeah.
99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
But
It's a fact.
I've learned a trick.
I know your trick, dude.
You do?
I've started to incorporate it.
The trick is that when it's like, lane 1, can I take your order? You just say, hey, how's it going today? Or, hey, how are you?
A little conversation.
Just, hey, how are you?
Little concern, showing
They're-
a little concern for
They're
them.
not going to go into it, but they're usually, they say, 9 times out of 10, they say, great,
Welcome to
hun,
hell.
thanks for asking. Great, hun, thanks for asking. That will change the mood of your order.
Oh yeah,
I
they're going to put
guarantee
your
it.
order top of the stack, top of the priority list.
Well, not even priority, but it's going to be right. Like
Yeah.
all the stuff you start saying the stuff, and everything's just right. They're
Right.
they're not peeved off. Or
Well, because
whatever.
they're not just barking orders at him at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a good
And the
life hack.
line's
I've
long.
started to incorporate that. We went through Taco Bell one time, Jordan, and you were like, check this out. Hey, how are you
Cockily.
doing? And everything changed, dude.
Dude, everything,
Everything
changes.
changed.
I swear it does.
No, it actually does, though. I do that now. And then if they say, well, if it's a kind of a downer type, I'm alive, then you have an
Right.
opportunity to kind of make a funny comment like, well, that's more than most of the history of humanity can say. Or like,
Well, remember, you're the one who applied here.
yeah, man, it always works. Hey, Tim Hortons, though. I miss Tim Hortons. We don't have Tim Hortons down here in this part of the country.
You sure
down
don't.
here in Tennessee. I have a gift card that I got from my Uncle Dave, one of the 2 Uncle Daves I have, for Christmas, and I haven't been able to use it. It sits in my glove box.
It's
It probably got baked by now. The magnetic strip probably doesn't work on it anymore.
It's probably now a donut in your glove box.
Turn into a
Got
donut.
baked.
Open it up and just a hot, fresh donut comes out.
Nothing would please you more.
I've been saving this.
I do have a donut thing. I have a special affinity for donuts. I went through a donut phase around 2014, 15. I was chunkier, and none of my friends told me. Jordan, I hold you culpable for that. Will, you weren't around
I
yet,
didn't notice.
but you didn't tell me. Dykla didn't tell me. Mook, Benny, Benner, Johnny, Johnner. None of them told me. There isn't another John. But there are 2 Bens, Benny and Benner. But the reason was I was going to Eastern Michigan University at the time, and across the street was a beautiful bakery. Dom Bakeries is what it was called, not Dom's Bakery. For some
Ypsilanti?
reason.
That's
Yeah.
where we rode to.
Yes, we rode scooters there. We rode scooters about 40 miles there in the cold of October, Michigan October. But I used to go there every day after class and get 3 donuts, and that it caused me to be chunky. And that was the whole point, is nobody told me. But I do love donuts. I just had 2 wonderful donuts yesterday. Been thinking about them still.
Donuts are good, man.
They are. They really are. Down here, the donut shops and stuff are so like boutique and like bougie, to borrow a word that you say sometimes, Jord, which is fitting for this, dude. Because there's a bakery here, love them to death. Their donuts are great, called Five Daughters Bakery. I call it $5 Bakery because that's how much one donut costs.
They're the best donuts on planet Earth.
They are good, but $5. I went up to the register and she was clearing the previous transaction, and you know what number was on there? 120, and it was for 2 dozen donuts.
Yeah, we've done it. Unfortunately, for like a party and stuff, we've done it.
Oh,
Jude's birthday,
donuts.
we got all 5 daughters donuts too.
Really?
But it's like worth it, Like
Yeah.
now, there's also the thing.
It's just it's so audacious to ask that much for donuts.
Yeah, that's fair.
They are really, really, really good.
Yeah, there's this place in Livonia that I grew up with, and we still get. My mom will bring it over from time to time, and it's called Looney Baker. It has an orange sign.
Yeah, we're going in on this donut shop because I have my own opinions about that place.
Oh, really? So, excuse me.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool. So,
Really?
No. We'll get to them later.
Farmington and Schoolcraft Road, but
Yeah, right in
there's
our
these
hometown
things called. Why they're called this, I have no idea, but they're called custard-filled Long Johns.
Such a
Sure.
dumb name.
It is
What's the name for?
A
It is
donut.
such
Yeah,
a
why?
mom and pop donut shop name.
Long
dude.
John. Why?
It's such a cash only donut shop name.
But yeah, it's like an old. It's like a this shape, like an oval,
yeah,
or like a rectangle, even.
yeah, like an eclair shape.
Mhm.
Yeah, an eclair. I think that's what it is. I think it's an eclair. Custard.
Long
filled.
John is
Gotta call it Long John. Gotta incorporate
to.
Long John in there.
Yeah,
I
I love them, but I love
Yeah.
them. And so,
Yeah.
like, I get what you're saying about a $5 5 daughters donut, because you could go
$5
get
bakery.
4 of those for $5. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
get
what
it.
I'm saying.
But like
That's what I'm saying.
but there's also like Voodoo Donuts, like in Denver or something like
Yeah.
that. Like these places they're really good, and there's a reason
good.
why they're $5.
I
yeah,
forget-
yeah.
What the one was that we went there before we drove from Nashville up to the Bourbon Trail, right?
Five
I think.
Daughters.
Yeah, we went to Five Daughters, and we had to hit the road. Like we had to get our donuts and hit the road, right? And I'm driving, and I was eating. I don't remember what kind of donut I got, but it was like
Chocolate.
cookies and cream or chocolate. Yeah, extremely messy. And with these things, it's like if you pick up a donut from Looney Baker, you can eat that thing while you're driving.
One hand, no
No
problem.
Like a chip.
problem.
Yeah.
No
Throw it
issue.
back,
Like a
no
chip.
problem.
Yeah, dude. Easily toss them
Like
right
a
in.
French fry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Shove a couple in there. And
Grab 2.
but with this, it's like complex and there's toppings on it.
Yeah,
It's
And
100
been-
layers.
you're gonna
Yeah.
need a plate. Yeah.
I'm trying to eat this thing while I drive. I end up looking like the kid from Matilda.
I was gonna say, dude, you turned into the donut. You were the donut, dude. You were just pure chocolate. You were made of chocolate at that point. I remember looking over it, and the whole, like, from your nose line down was all chocolate. It looked like a chocolate bandana that was wrapped around just the lower part of your face, dude.
I try to rob a bank, and instead of wearing a bandana, I just eat a donut from Five Daughters beforehand.
Well, just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One is the disguise. 2, I get a donut out of the bargain.
What
We're
time do you want to
good.
rob that? Wait, what time do you want to rob that bank tomorrow? 9? Okay, yeah, so we'll go to $5 before 8:30. We'll call it. We'll go there beforehand. That way, we don't got to stop by, get a bandana. This is going to save a lot of time, man. Why didn't we think
Well,
of this?
you can get 2. You can get 2 chocolate donuts, and then it'll just be a ski mask. At that point, it'll be the full face covering. Somehow it gets on your forehead. I used to have a friend who was the messiest eater, and I remember one time in high school, he was eating pizza, and somehow he had sauce on his ear. back here, dude. He had sauce back here. I remember my buddy Modi and I were like, dude, how did you manage that? Like, you were going for the bite and you missed. You started back here. Oh, that's right. This is where my mouth is. I forgot. It's right here. I thought,
my dad was at opening day for here we go, right? My dad was at opening day, I think, for the Tigers or something, because he used to go every year with my family and family friends and stuff. My uncle texted me one of the years, and my dad's jeans were like a little bit looser fitting. I think they were a little bit too long for him or something, so he had like these creases in them. And my uncle's like, how did your dad manage to get like actual like a half inch of dirt stuck in one of the creases on his pant leg? Like, how does that happen? Like, your pant
like in a
leg's
vertical crease like
your
this?
pant leg's folded up like, and there's dirt just in, and it hasn't moved. It's just settled there. In the process of moving around, standing up, sitting down, that dirt has not moved.
At a baseball game?
He was in the parking lot of a like
He
tailgating.
accumulated enough dust
Yeah.
to cause a little shelf of dust right there. That's
Yes, dude.
fascinating.
Yes.
That
Like,
is-
how throughout the process of your day has this dirt not gotten out of there?
Oh,
And how did it get in there? Another thing I wanted to mention was for Mother's Day, we celebrated at my mom's, right?
yeah.
Me, my sister, and her boyfriend, and my mom, and everything. And we didn't want my mom to have to cook or anything like that, but we're just like, we don't want to cook either, really. So we'll just get some carry out. So we try to decide on what we want to do. And everybody's like, okay, Chinese sounds good. Let's do that. A couple good places around here. So I'm like, well, let's just all hang out here. I'll place a DoorDash order. It's like a $4 delivery fee. No one has to leave. Perfect. It's all good.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I order from this restaurant via DoorDash, and I get like this, like a family meal. It's got 4 different entrees in it, a bunch of sides, everything. Whole works.
Yeah.
Excited for it. We're ready to eat. It's about 6:30. And the guy shows up, and he's got one bag with him, and he hands me the order, and then he leaves. And I'm like, for a family meal with like 4 entrees and a bunch of sides, one bag seems pretty light. I mean, unless they're pulling some magic tricks here. So
Yeah.
I start unpacking it. It's like a side of white rice, 4 egg rolls, almond chicken gravy, and a bunch of soy sauce and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is 3.5% of what I ordered. So
No
Right.
way.
yeah,
And course, by the way, because delivery
yeah,
always
of
gets
course.
messed up.
yeah, of course. And
course.
that's the first thing, course. And then that's the first course is of course. And so try calling this guy, no answer. Try calling him again. Hey, no answer. One more time, no answer.
Fourth
Message him,
time he picks up and he says verbally, no
No
answer.
answer. This is the dog you played or chicken you played.
No answer. This is the chicken you played, buddy.
My flat
So-
dog number.
Hey, a bunch of my orders missing. Well, that's the chicken you played.
It really is. Dude, it's poignant.
Yeah.
It's profound.
Message him, nothing, no reply. So I call the restaurant and I'm like, hey, I placed an order. This is what it was for. It was via DoorDash. The guy only brought me 1 bag. And they're like, no. We gave him 2 bags. 2 bags. We gave him 2 bags. She said it like 7 or 8 times. And I'm like, okay. All right. Well, I can't get a hold of him, so I don't know what to do. And finally he messages me back and he says, no, they only gave me 1 bag. And I'm like, somebody's lying here.
Yeah.
And it's
Something's
Mother's
fishy.
Day, dude. Like, this is our Mother's Day dinner.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got in contact with DoorDash and they refunded me. And
Don't lie on Mother's Day. That's one of my cardinal rules.
it's the only day I care about that you don't lie.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
That's
on
it.
Mother's
Real.
Day.
No.
For real. Not on Mother's Day. St. Patrick's Day, of course.
Of course.
4th of July, maybe.
Halloween is
problem.
all about lying.
Halloween is
Yeah.
about lying.
Yes.
Yeah.
On
Any-
Lying's Day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a Canadian holiday, Lying's Day.
It's a
Yeah.
Canadian federal holiday. Lying's
It
Day.
would be. They have so many weird holidays up there.
They have so many liars up there.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Tons. That's how they get away with everything.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
All those liars.
But I am
Saying Canadians are liars is so stupid. Like it's a trend.
completely
You know what they say
based
about
in-
Canadians, man?
Bunch of liars,
Freaking
dude.
liars.
It's the chicken that they
That's the chicken
What
they
it-
played,
We're
man.
dealt.
that's the,
It's the chicken they're dealt.
that's the chicken
it's
they're
like a
dealt,
game
man.
of
Those
telephone.
liars.
They really haven't been focusing on their flat dog numbers. But yeah, so I ended up having to place another order at a different Chinese restaurant and going and picking it up in person because I didn't want to go through that again.
Did you follow up with DoorDash and say what happened?
They refunded me,
Okay.
but I was still left without food that I had to then, reorder and go get.
Yeah,
And
that's
you probably
irritating.
waited like
beyond.
45 minutes for it
Yeah.
to begin with, right?
Yep. So it was good.
Here
It was a
comes
good Mother's
the
Day.
Dasher, the DoorDasher walking up the steps, and everybody's excited, and they're like, "All
Yep.
right, guys, it's
Yeah.
time to feast. Let's
Yep.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go."
Yep.
I'm gathered around the door when he opens it. When
He
you
took
open
it to
and he's
his
standing
mom
there.
for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that was probably.
Yes.
Dude, I'm like, that guy's eating
That's
good.
it. That's it.
He's eating
Actually,
good. He's got like 4 or 5 entrees, egg rolls, all sorts of stuff
Well,
in that
maybe
bag.
he said, "Hey, hold."
Maybe he couldn't afford it, and then
Maybe
he stole it.
Right.
So step 1, steal it. Step 2, get refunded by DoorDash.
ultimately
Are the
DoorDash
sins
bought the
forgiven?
food for him.
I guess.
See, that's a tough one. That's the chicken that he played. But what if
Right.
another chicken that he played was, hey, Ma, he's at Mother's Day dinner with his mom, and he says, "Hey, Ma, I'm going to step out for one DoorDash order, but trust me, I'm coming back with food."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steps out, gets what would be Nancy's food,
Mhm.
brings it back.
Mm-hmm.
DoorDash refunds you. That's the chicken that he played. Your flat dog numbers. I mean,
My
like,
flat dog
everybody
numbers didn't play that day.
They didn't. They didn't hit.
Man. Yeah, that stinks. I did a mobile order at Taco Bell the other day. It was
How'd that go?
Saturday. It's not a delivery, but I just typed in all the order and then hit pickup, and then it was like, get here in 8 minutes. And so I got there in 8 minutes. I walked in, the food was piping hot. I walked out.
Come on.
It was great.
Come on. That's great.
Man.
Now,
I gotta start
granted,
trying to do
it was
that.
within 5 minutes of the house that I was at, so that helped too.
Sure,
You
but
know,
even
if it's
so,
like a 15-minute drive, you might as well just get it delivered at this point,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I kind of stopped with the food delivery. I cut off my DoorDash subscription. I found out. I shouldn't say I found out. I heard, and I didn't verify this, but DoorDash, Grubhub, what's the other one?
DoorHub.
Postmates.
Grubhub?
Postmates.
Postmates.
They have those three have like little hubs where they. So sometimes the long story short is that sometimes the food that you order on that app doesn't come from where you think it's coming from. It's coming from some centralized location where they have a bunch of Taco Bell food and a bunch of McDonald's food and a bunch of other food, and they just like heat it up there or something and take it to you.
There's for sure no way.
It sounds. I think you're right.
Ridiculous.
As I was explaining it, I
That
thought to
sounds
myself,
like someone I
huh,
know very dearly would scheme up in their head.
DoorDash. DoorDash. What should be my Google search term for that? DoorDash.
DoorDash Central Hub
Kitchens.
faking food.
DoorDash kitchens.
DoorDash conspiracy.
DoorDash. That would be good. DoorDashKitchens.com. Here it is.
Pulled up the exact article.
It's your friend's face.
Dude, there's a place called DoorDash Kitchens. At DoorDash, we're always exploring it. Whatever, I give up. All right, I bought into a conspiracy, all right? Sue me. Everybody's
You've
allowed
already
one a
canceled
year.
your subscription.
That's not why I canceled it. I canceled it because here where I live, you can't get service from people who care about what they're doing.
Yeah.
The bag will come out. The bag will arrive with cigarette smoke coming out of it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Or like somebody will have their kid running the food up to your door. And I
That's
just
happened
don't.
to me too.
I ordered a cheesy
Don't
gordita
like that.
crunch, and I bit into it, and there were just 40 cigarettes in there.
And you were like, oh, you
cigarette
checked your
crunch.
receipt, and you were like, I ordered the cigarette gordita crunch, dude.
Oh.
I swear I said steak.
I meant to get the Dorito shell, not the menthol cigarette shell.
It's the Crunch Sig Supreme.
That is so disgusting. And dude, I tell you, here it's tough. It's tough to get good fast food. I've
tough.
complained about this ad nauseum on this podcast. Probably in 10 different episodes, I've expressed some grievances and qualms with fast food service here on the east side of Nashville. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about my visor?
I like it.
Nice.
Ready for the golf trip. So if today, when this gets posted, is Monday, May 23rd,
wow,
then we're going to be gone. At least then you and I, Jord, are going to be gone on the Wednesday. And then Will, you join us on Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you want to come down to Nashville and carpool up to Indiana with us from Michigan.
A new proposition? A proposition I haven't heard?
If you want to turn your 3-hour road trip into 16 plus into 20 total driving hours instead. So
it's not too far, I don't think, from Nashville.
From here it's 7.5.
Oh, really?
It's almost equidistant to Michigan.
Wow.
So that's good. But it's going to be fun. I'm going to be wearing this visor. I'm going to be wearing some hats that I'm making for you guys. I'm going to be wearing some vintage polos. Honestly, that's the reason I got into golf, was so I could wear vintage polos on the course.
You look good in them.
I tried to find some at Salvation Army yesterday, actually.
Really?
Couldn't find anything. I found a couple of I found like a nice Under Armour one and stuff, but I found a couple of...
You want to find some funny ones. I bought one with Tigger on it today.
I was looking for stuff like that, dude. I couldn't find anything. I'm like, I just want to look like a jackass out on the course, right? That's my primary goal.
Yes.
And I'm still going to achieve that goal, but
you will.
I didn't, at least for the time being, I didn't find any kind of funny polos and stuff, but I did find a couple of tank tops that I think I'm going to be trying out.
Oh, nice.
I could see you rolling up with some plaid shorts as well.
Plaid shorts.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a base tan in?
Dude, I don't know if you can tell the floodlight here that I'm using. I don't know. That's not what it's called, but the light here in the studio that you gave me or let me borrow long term, Jordan, makes me look very white. But I do have some color right now.
I've got some color as well. That's always a concerning thing for me. In Nashville, it was easy because you were outside pretty much 12 months out of the year.
Sure.
In Michigan,
I only started getting sun 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, in Michigan,
you guys haven't seen the sun. Have you seen the sun yet
in
this
8
year?
months.
There's been talks of the sun. There's been rumblings of the sun, but nothing concrete yet.
Sure.
I spent all weekend outside. Felt great. Fantastic.
No, it has been nice.
Went to the gym in the morning. I opened the door and I'm not like covered in freezing cold wind.
Yeah.
It's great.
When we FaceTimed earlier, Jord, you looked pretty tan. Pretty dang tan, man.
My in-laws have a pool, and so we spent like pretty much the weekend there. But it's always a thing for like a golf tournament because the last thing you want is a
debilitating sunburn. Yeah,
that's the worst because like your arms are. I mean, we play, for everyone listening, we play 18 holes on Thursday, 36 holes on Friday, 18 holes on Saturday, and after the third
and then
round,
18 on Sunday.
Is it 18 on Sunday too?
Mm-hmm.
We're playing
108 holes.
We're playing 5 rounds of golf, I think, in 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your fingers are going to fall off. That's just going to happen.
Sure.
Hurts. Everything hurts. Last thing.
Well, that's why Will's wearing 2 gloves.
I wore 2 gloves yesterday.
Yeah. You had an extra pair of gloves this whole time.
We're on a golf trip. Dude, we sounded like a cheesy scripted thing. The way I said that stupid punchline and you guys laughed, that sounded like a cheesy, corny, like on the nose SNL skit from the 80s or something. Oh, for sure. We're on a golf trip. Laugh track.
Yes.
Cue the end music and we go.
Yes.
I'm excited for that, though. It's going to be great to be with you guys. We're going to crack open a bottle of $1,000 bourbon. That's right, $1,000 bourbon. We'll only sit together. I'll take one first taker and the one taker. I can't wait, man. It's going to be great. I did buy a celebratory bottle, and it's been burning a hole on the shelf on which it sits, man. I can't wait to crack that with you freaks. It's going to be.
Is there going to be any stouting off appearances at the Mooksters this year?
I don't know. I'm open to ideas. I don't particularly want to be in media mode, but also the creative brain never shuts off, as you guys can attest, right? Like
True.
you guys know that as well. I always am thinking about the Stouting Off community. And so I would love to bring them some great content, but we're going to be golfing a lot.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you
We're
might
gonna be
pop in
golfing.
on a story and say, hey,
I might do an Instagram
give me
live for a whole
advice or-
round. Of
The whole round.
Might wear a GoPro facing me for a whole round. It's just like Blair Witch Project of me swinging and like censoring myself.
It's a
in black and
humongous
white.
attachment that comes out to here and completely affects every bit of your swing.
It interferes with the golf club when I'm swinging it. Yeah, it's like a 3-foot appendage in front of me.
Yeah, I can only go on my backswing about 3 inches until it hits the GoPro. So
That's good, actually.
Yeah, we'll probably do something though. I'm excited. I'm excited for the week.
I'm bringing my media polo.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm
Just
sewing a
damn.
patch onto it actually as well. I don't know if I told you that, but and I'll
No.
bring one for you as well.
Always get tricks.
We were the media last year. We so listeners, Will and I went to the tournament last year, but Will and I didn't play. We only took video and harassed the players. We drove around in a golf cart for a whole weekend of equal number of rounds of golf.
Yep.
And we didn't play. We just made a funny video, which was fun.
Yeah.
It was very fun, but it's time to play this year. And we're captains this year, which is great.
Yeah.
They put the least experienced players as captains, so it'll be cool.
Rivals. Media turn rivals.
Classic story. Classic. I mean, it's just,
Storybook.
yeah,
Really is.
biopic.
But that's the chicken we play. So
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's another, dude, I wonder what this episode's going to be called. That is the chicken you play.
I hope I'm on one of your guys' teams and that the other
You
two
will be.
captains don't hear that.
You will be,
You
and they
will be.
won't. Trust me on
Nope.
both.
nope. Yeah, we've blocked them.
I actually thought about getting with the fellow captains on a side chat and just being like, okay, who are your non-negotiable? Like, everybody take one non-negotiable.
Sure. That's a good idea. That's kind of
That's insider trading, though. Yeah, I don't know.
Insider trading.
That's
I
great.
don't know. This could be insider trading, but I've thought about that. All right, I'm ready to button things up. Do you guys have anything else for me? As always, as a business meeting, so I just want to make
it's
sure there are no
another
open
business
loops.
meeting. So no, I'm okay. No, all the loops are closed, and appreciate you guys again taking the time to sit down and really hash this out.
Well, you're welcome. I just wanted to make sure everyone was heard. But again, as a wise person once told me, and this is actually how I want to begin my forthcoming autobiography. It is the chicken you play, my flat dog numbers, when you find kind of colors in one word. You know that?
That's going to be our inspirational message for the day for you guys out there.
That's right. That's right.
We want to
Piano
leave you on a
underscore.
good note.
Yeah. So without much more, I was going to say further ado, but that's how you open an episode.
Without much more further ado, though.
Without much more further, I'm going to take this moment right now and conclude episode 56 of the Stouting Off podcast, the #1 podcast in America, where we spout off commentary about the everyday and we talk about the most important things in life. We'll catch you next time. We love you. See you later.